Well, all you Sodbuster Junior and Sodbuster lovers, welcome to Baxter's Blades. You are entering the Tiger Pit. Yes, another Rosecraft Blades unboxing. Today we have the Overall Creek Farmhand RCT 022 Yellow Sandalwood. I forgot to mention in my Cockburr Creek unboxing, I did get these from Traditional Pocket Knives. I wanted to pick them up from Red Hill, but they were out of the yellow sandalwood. I do like black sandalwood because you can see the grain, but these being textured, you don't see the grain quite as much. And actually had some credit there at Traditional Pocket Knives. Thank you very much, Austin. Looks like he sent me a couple stickers here. And shipping was relatively fast. Everything's been really slowed up because of the snow across the country, but they do a fantastic job. They shipped the same day I ordered it. So I already showed the box. Let's check this out. This is one I was not really gonna get. Why? It's it's a traditional pattern, but it's their take on it. And the ones I saw were kind of blocky looking, and I kind of had an issue with that. I'll get further into that in the video, but these go about $59.95, so just about $60. So right around the Sodbuster Junior price range. I have seen a lot of videos from Tim School of Fish saying that they're way better than the Sodbuster Juniors, so we're gonna do a comparison with them. Let's check it out. And the sun came out just for this. You can see the nice diamond pattern jigging. Now it's not raised up like a gun stock. It is smooth. I can feel it with my nail. So I'm not sure how grippy that really is, but it does look really nice. The reason why I wanted this yellow sandalwood is because with the jigging, it almost looks like a rattlesnake skin. And a nice color there. I really like my browns. Like I said, I could have picked up the black sandalwood, and it probably is just the same and really nice, but I figured I'm only picking up one of these. A little sharp there at the end. You do have a nice bird's eye pivot. Everything is very flush and smooth. We have 0 gaps here. Wow, look at that color. All the way around. Oh, what's that? Is that glue? Is that a blem in the wood and they filled it? Right there. Very interesting. Maybe it's just a little glue. Looks like there may be glue or a filler right there also. Overall, a really nice looking Sodbuster Junior style knife. Check the blade centering. Well, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it doesn't look centered to me. It looks off to the show side. This is very odd. If you watched my Cockburr Creek video, my spade blade was off. And this is very unlike Rosecraft. Most of their blades are perfectly centered. Apparently we're getting some that aren't. So are you getting your money's worth? Yeah, probably still. At least it's off to the show side, so as you grab it and pull it out, it's not rubbing. Do have half stops in here, half position. It's supposed to be flush, but I do feel just a hair stepping. No worries. Nice and flush in the open position. D2 steel blade. What a killer looking blade with much more of a point than a Case Sodbuster Junior. I will be doing a comparison on this video. Just love these covers. Look at that. It's like a rattlesnake. Now these are made in China. Like I said, D2 steel. You see Andy's maker's mark. Pattern number, a stamped ting. At least they stamp it. Very nice. Now these are a little bit longer than a Case Sodbuster Junior. Sorry, I keep bumping my camera. I think they're about 4 inches or a hair under 4 inches. Here is a Case Sodbuster Junior 3 5/8. You can see in the closed length it is shorter. It's a little bit more of a handful in this. Compared to the normal bone one, you can see a huge difference in thickness. Now, Some say that's better, some say that's worse. It just depends on your liking. These slip in the pocket really nice. They're very thin, but for a grip on the hand, thicker is better. Just doesn't disappear in your pocket quite as nice. Now, my complaint about the squared off bolsters, a lot of Rosecraft I've seen, everything's very square, and the sharp edges here, you can see. Now, I mentioned this when Thrifty and Kniffy were discussing this on their show, and they said, oh, come on back, so you can just take some sandpaper to that. And true, I could. I could take some sandpaper, I could take off that fine, sharp edge there, kind of crown it out, round it out, make it nice and smooth. Now, this has a nice finish on it. I thought about sanding it, but I don't know if I would take that nice finish off. Looks like it's coated in something or polished. I could try it. It's a $60 knife. And there is an argument for a more squared off blade, or excuse me, squared off handle. And buck knives, the old Buck 110 from the 60s and 70s, were more square and blocky. And their argument was that it won't twist and slip in the hand as much. And now they do chamfer them off, make them rounder, so they do feel better in the hand. But in hard cutting, it can possibly twist and slip, and so you do get a little bit more grip here with the sharp edges. Now, it still feels great in hand. It's not like those edges are digging into me at all. But and holding the case Sodbuster Jr., much thinner. So I don't know how much harder of work you can do with this, but let's check blade stock. Yes, the case Sodbuster Jr. is much thinner of a blade stock. This is a carbon steel version, hollow ground, thin and slicey. Very cool looking at the grind lines on this Rosecraft. Very awesome. No brass liners on this Rosecraft. Let's compare it to, how about a new, more modern case. This is the black and red with S35V in steel. These run $70. These run $60. Is it worth $10 more? Do a side-by-side comparison, of course. You can see the cutting length is almost the same. Rosecraft is edging out there with a little bit more of a point. Handles are very similar. Let me bump this back. A little bit more handle on the Rosecraft. So that can be good or bad depending on your hand size or pocket size. Obviously no half stops on the case. Now this is definitely a different Sodbuster, being pin construction. I do like the bird's eye pivot on this, but let's check thickness. Look at that, exactly the same thickness. Now this is more rounded off and less sharp edges is what I was talking about. I can still get a full 4-finger grip on this case. A little bit more confidence inspiring with this Rosecraft farmhand. D2 steel, we got S35V steel, and we have shadows. Case carbon steel. I do have one more. How about the 6.5 bone stag and stainless? Let's check the thickness. Yeah, kind of comparable to the thicker bone. About the same. Rosecraft's maybe a little bit thicker because of the blade stock and back spring thickness. Well, what should I do? How about we do a little paper cut test? These Rosecraft come very sharp. Oh, did I speak too soon? That feels very sharp. This is a thin piece of paper. It did get hung up right there. What's going on with that? Huh? Still sharp. Maybe I'm not swiping it enough. It's sharp. May need a little strop, which is very odd for a Rosecraft. Let's check out the S35VN from case. Get a good. Not so much. It does cut, but not as smooth and clean as the Rosecraft. This could use a strop. Now, I don't think these are actually hollow ground like the other case. Wow, that was surprising. For $10 more, you get less cutting. And then the carbon steel. I'm just all over the place here. It's tearing. It's not really even cutting as nice. It does cut, but it's more of a tear. I maybe have used this and probably need to put an edge back on it. But as you can see, these case you can sharpen them and get them sharp. A lot of people do not like to pay top dollar for a case that is not super sharp out of the box. Now, I don't mind. I do like supporting American manufacturing and American brands. I have no problem supporting Rosecraft blades. They are an American company, even though their knives are made overseas. I have plenty of Chinese knives. I started collecting with Rough Riders and Frost. Case were always out of my price range. And Rosecraft really kind of got me back into traditional pocket knives because they were, $30 to $40 for way better quality, sharpness out of the box, and less than case knives. Now they're becoming more comparable to case knives. Case knives have upped their prices, $70, these are probably $66, and this is less. Overall, you get probably a more usable knife that you don't have to worry about as much. Will they become collectible? Quite possibly. Rosecraft do put some of their patterns in the vault. Who knows, they may release this in bone someday, and these are the only wood ones you'll get. If you do like a Sodbuster Jr. with half stops, you do have one on here. A lot of people prefer them. Some people don't prefer them. Some people prefer to open up their Sodbuster with one hand, and it's easier with no half stops. I used to prefer half stops, and now I'm indifferent. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. Some people think that's an extra step in opening it, and they prefer just to do one full sweep and it's open. Now you can still put it in the half position and close it. Some people in their walk and talk prefer the half stops, and they do add them to case knives. Some people like that snap. It's very satisfying. But for as much as I've hyped Rosecraft blades and everybody else, these are the first two knives I've had with not centered blades. Now, is it touching the end? No, it's not rubbing the liners. There is a gap there ever so slightly, and I don't mind that it's off to the show side. What's the pull on this? Probably a 5, maybe a 4.5. Nice light pull, but shouldn't come back on you. It could be a little stronger. Now this is a new knife, and it will break in as that washer breaks in, but I'm not having to push it down very far for it to stick. Great usable knives. Very appropriately named, being a farmhand. So, which one would be better for you? That's for you to decide. If you don't mind sharpening a knife, the case is a really great option. If you like your knives to be completely razor sharp out of the box and durable and nice looking, Rosecraft may be a better option for you. Now, like I said, I have so many Sodbuster Juniors, I wasn't going to get this, but I figured, why not? It's a very nice looking, usable knife, and I can do this comparison. I'd like to do some more comparisons. Maybe I will sharpen this up a little bit better, but it's really hard to get a screaming sharp edge like this D2. Even with a thicker blade stock, it's very slicey. Is it hollow ground? Doesn't feel like it. Feels like flat ground, but still great usable work knife for sure. Videos get long. I just keep rambling on and on. I wish I could do some more tests. Maybe I'll do an edge retention test on these. And maybe I'll throw in the stainless steel version to see how that compares. You all stay sharp, be kind, and take chances. Take care.